The story opens with Clay, a quiet man living on the edge of a small town. Years ago, he served in a hidden U.S. program called the Beekeepers, an elite black ops unit used for missions that were too dirty, too secret, and too dangerous for normal agencies. Now, he keeps real hives, works alone, and tries to stay invisible. Clay rents a garage on the property of an elderly widow, Mrs. Parker. She used to be a teacher, and she now runs a charity that helps women and kids who are struggling. She likes having Clay nearby because he is polite, steady, and always ready to fix something without being asked. Clay respects her, and he values the peace she gives him. One evening, Clay finishes with the hives and heads inside for dinner. Mrs. Parker is on her laptop, checking paperwork for the charity, when a warning suddenly fills the screen. It claims her hard drive is infected, her data is about to be destroyed, and she must call a support number right away. She panics and calls, thinking she is saving her files. On the other end is a man named Garnett. He sounds professional, calm, and helpful, but he is the front man for a criminal crew running a fake antivirus company. The moment she calls, the hackers breach her computer, take control, and start watching everything she does. Inside the scam hub, the workers sit in rows with headsets and scripts. Screens show bank logins, charity ledgers, and scared voices on the line. They keep a scoreboard of money stolen, and they laugh when a victim hesitates. Garnett plays the friendly manager, but he is just another predator. He apologizes and says they will even compensate her for the trouble, but first he needs her banking information. Mrs. Parker hesitates, then gives the details. Instantly, she sees a deposit of $50,000 hit her account. She is stunned. Garnett acts shocked too and claims he meant to send $500, not $50,000. He asks her to return the extra money, and he pushes her to log into her online banking. The second she types her password, all the money vanishes. Every cent is gone, including the charity funds she was responsible for. Mrs. Parker breaks down. She realizes she has been robbed, humiliated, and ruined in minutes. Clay, unaware of what happened, is in the garage bottling honey so he can bring her a small gift. When he walks over, he senses something wrong. The house is too quiet. He grabs a kitchen knife and moves carefully into the living room. Mrs. Parker is on the floor with a pistol beside her. She is dead. Before Clay can even react, FBI agent Verona bursts in with her weapon raised. Mrs. Parker was her mother. Verona sees Clay standing over the body and assumes the worst. Local police arrive, lock the place down, and drag Clay in for questioning. At the station, investigators collect evidence and examine the computer. They uncover the scam, the remote breach, and the emptied accounts. The death is ruled a suicide, not a murder. Clay is released the next day, but the loss hits him like a hammer. Verona returns, shaken and ashamed. She apologizes for accusing him and explains what her mother fell into, a massive phishing operation that has wrecked countless victims for years. Verona says the FBI has chased this network again and again, but it keeps slipping away. No arrests, no real leads, only ruined lives. Clay listens without raising his voice, but something hard forms behind his eyes. After Verona leaves, Clay makes a call to his old world. He contacts the Beekeepers and asks for one thing, intel. Clay does not ask for permission, and he does not ask for backup. In the Beekeepers, the first lesson is patience, the second is certainty. Within hours, Clay has files on UDG, the fake antivirus company run by Garnett. Clay drives to UDG headquarters carrying 2 gasoline cans. Security tries to stop him, but he moves with frightening speed, dropping guards in seconds and walking straight into the control room. The scammers freeze when they see him. Clay grabs one worker, slams him down, and forces them to swear they will never prey on innocent people again. Then he orders everyone out. Once the room is empty, he pours gasoline everywhere, soaking desks, cables, and walls. Garnett arrives with backup, screaming threats, but Clay crushes the men like they are nothing. Before leaving, Clay rigs a bomb to the office phone. He steps outside. The phone rings. The blast tears through the building and sends fire into the night sky. The hit shakes the entire criminal network. Garnett, barely holding himself together, contacts his boss, Danforth, to report that a man calling himself the Beekeeper destroyed the operation in minutes. Danforth is furious and terrified. He orders Garnett to hire violent enforcers and kill Clay before the situation spreads. Garnett scrambles, buying muscle and weapons, and they track Clay to his bee farm. They wait until he steps away. Then they smash his hives, destroy frames, and ruin the one peaceful thing he built for himself. The crew follows Clay back, confident. They have the advantage. But Clay knows they are there. The ambush turns into a trap. Clay tears through the gang with brutal precision, breaking arms, snapping necks, and leaving bodies scattered across the yard. He spares Garnett, not out of mercy, but to send a message. Clay slices off Garnett's fingers and lets him crawl away in terror. Verona, still hunting the scammers, interrogates a UDG employee. In the middle of it, she gets a call about a fire at her mother's property. She races there and finds Clay's garage burned to ash. Among the charred bodies, investigators discover a UDG employee ID. Verona's grief twists into suspicion again. She believes Clay is waging a private war, and she fears he is escalating. Garnett, bleeding and disfigured, calls Danforth and admits their hit failed. Danforth demands to know who Clay really is. Garnett starts to answer, but Clay appears behind him, silent as a shadow. Garnett cannot even scream. Clay attacks mid-call, straps Garnett to a car with a lashing belt, and sends the vehicle forward, dragging him into deep water. Danforth hears Garnett's final drowning through the phone and freezes. Clay picks up the device and calmly tells Danforth he is coming next. Verona and her partner Matt run Clay through federal databases. Every search returns nothing. No record, no ID, no file. Clay might as well not exist. Verona realizes he was trained inside a classified unit even the FBI cannot touch. Soon, Garnett's body is found, tied to the vehicle, drowned. The case becomes unavoidable. At the same time, Danforth meets with Wallace, a former CIA director hired to keep him safe at the request of his mother, Jessica, the new president of the United States. Jessica believes her son is a successful businessman. She has no idea he runs a criminal empire. Wallace hears one word, Beekeeper, and his face tightens. He contacts Janet, the current CIA director, and demands information. Janet confirms Clay once belonged to the Beekeepers and has retired. Wallace orders her to eliminate Clay before he reaches Danforth. Janet forwards the kill order to active Beekeepers and assigns an operative named Anna to handle it. Clay stops for gas, and Anna strikes fast. She moves like a blade, but Clay moves faster. He disarms her, overpowers her, cuts off her fingers, and sets her on fire. The entire gas station erupts in flames, exploding behind him as he walks away. The Beekeepers send a message to the CIA right after. Clay is acting alone, and they will not get involved. Wallace is now on his own. He gathers a squad of special forces, briefs them on the existence of the Beekeepers, and frames Clay as a rogue agent who must be stopped. Their mission is simple: kill Clay. Verona inspects the burned gas station and finds what is left of Anna. The body is almost unrecognizable, but the evidence shows she belonged to a secret program, and yet she was hunting Clay. Clay uses one of Anna's severed fingers to bypass the security at her home. Inside, he accesses her computer, traces signals, and follows the trail from Garnett's phone. The location points him to the 9 Points building, headquarters of NSU, another front company tied to Danforth. Clay raids Anna's weapons and gear, loads explosives, and heads out. By the time Clay reaches 9 Points, Wallace's special forces are already inside the building, positioned to kill him. Outside, FBI SWAT surrounds the perimeter, waiting for him to show. Wallace does not evacuate the office workers. He lets them sit at their desks, a cold sign that NSU is not a normal business. It is another hive feeding on victims. Clay hits the perimeter first, destroying the SWAT guards at the entrance before they can react. He slips inside and blends with employees, walking through cubicles like he belongs there. A Special Forces operative finally spots him, and the building erupts into chaos. The team assaults him in coordinated waves, but Clay moves through hallways like a ghost, dropping each man with precise, efficient violence. When the shooting stops, Wallace's entire squad is down. Clay corners Rico, a nervous NSU executive, and demands the name of the man controlling UDG and NSU. Rico tries to brag about power and protection, claiming the law cannot touch his boss. Clay answers coldly that nobody is untouchable. Sometimes the hive is out of balance, and sometimes it must be burned. Rico breaks and reveals the truth. The operation is owned by Danforth, the president's son. Before Clay can finish, Verona and her FBI team storm the building. Weapons rise. Clay escapes through upper levels and disappears before they can cuff him. In the aftermath, Verona and Matt connect the pieces. Danforth owns multiple scam companies hidden inside a larger business empire, and those companies sell software to government agencies, giving him access and cover. Verona realizes Clay may not stop at Danforth. The president herself could be collateral simply because she is tied to him. Deputy Director Pry treats it as a real threat. He assigns Verona and Matt to track Clay while ordering tighter security around President Jessica and her family. The next day, Verona joins the Secret Service at the president's beachfront mansion, where Jessica and Danforth are hosting a charity event. Checkpoints, cameras, agents everywhere. Still, Wallace does not trust the official protection. He hires mercenaries led by a ruthless man named Lazarus, who claims he once fought a beekeeper and survived, though it cost him a leg. Clay approaches the estate from below, crawling through a drainage tunnel that empties near the property. He slips under a truck, enters the grounds, and silently knocks out a SWAT officer. He plants explosives on security vehicles, then disguises himself and walks straight into the event like another staff member. Inside, Pry briefs President Jessica, explaining her son's manipulation of government software, the phishing empire behind it, and the fact that her campaign was funded with stolen money. Jessica is devastated. Her anger rises, but she also looks broken. At that moment, Verona senses Clay. She orders SWAT to move. Clay is surrounded at gunpoint and drops to his knees like he is surrendering. It is a trick. He detonates the explosives outside, and Secret Service trucks erupt in fire, throwing the perimeter into panic. Clay storms deeper into the mansion. He fights through rooms of Secret Service, taking them down with clean, controlled strikes, but he saves his full brutality for Wallace's mercenaries. Lazarus confronts him in a hallway, and the fight turns savage. Bone cracks. Blood hits the walls. Clay ends it with Lazarus collapsing at his feet. Clay reaches the hall outside the president's office, but Wallace blocks the door. Wallace begs him to spare Danforth, claiming killing him will cause political chaos that cannot be repaired. Clay does not care. Inside the office, Danforth has already snapped. His mother is ready to expose him, and he panics. He grabs a pistol and shoots Deputy Director Pry right in front of her. Clay plants an explosive on the door and blasts his way in as Verona and other agents charge after him. Cornered, Danforth grabs his mother and holds her as a shield. Verona pleads with Clay not to shoot. Clay looks at Verona and asks her a simple question, whether she serves the law or justice. Clay makes the choice. One shot. Danforth drops, dead instantly. In the confusion, Clay slips out a window and runs toward the beach. Verona raises her gun and has a clear shot, but she lowers it. She lets him go because she understands why he did it. Clay reaches the shoreline, pulls on scuba gear he hid earlier, and disappears beneath the water. The mansion fills with sirens and shouting, but Clay is already gone and the message remains. Disturbing a beekeeper's hive never ends well, because once justice wakes up, it does not stop.